Indy. Asi. Good. Well done, Bugs. Indy doing his bit for the community. Okay, we're here with Indy today. Indy, Asi. I'm going to do a bit of a different video today. It's going to be walking and talking. It might be a bit disjointed. Basically, the video is going to be about why I train dogs and why I in fact have a YouTube channel. So let's go. So why do I have a YouTube channel? Well, initially I started my YouTube channel to help people to train their dogs, and that was it, because I like training dogs, and I knew how to train dogs. Now, some of you may know that I don't train dogs in a what people would think is a conventional way, and some people don't like the way that I train dogs, because it appears to be chaotic, which it is, which is why it's called the Chaos Explained set of videos that I made years ago. Now, interestingly, I saw a video the other day. It was an interview with Ivan Balabanov. Hope I said his name right, probably didn't, who cares. On Nate Schumer's channel, I think it is. And basically the video was called Why Struggling is Important. Why struggling is important in dog training. Now, this is something that I said in my Chaos Explained video a long time ago, and the reason why I think struggling is important in dog training is, as I said in those videos, that the dog learns it better. So whereas people would normally create perfect situations for the dog, so that, as the saying goes, you know, stop them from, make it easy for them to win, not hard. You know, you want them to not fail, basically. I think that's not how I train dogs. I don't think it's the best way to train dogs, really. Obviously, you don't make it so hard that it's impossible, because the dog just gets pissed off. And you get pissed off as well. But just in such a fashion as the dog's going to learn, it's not going to be particularly simple for them. So a good example of this will be heeling. You know, everyone does it. It's in all the dog sports. All dogs need to know how to heel, and we'll get Indy to heel now. Right, so he's heeling next to me. I'm happy enough for that, and I'll let him go. And with Indy, the useful thing is the click of the lead tells him that he's allowed to go. Okay. Yeah, so this video is probably going to be quite disjointed, really, and just me rambling. So I'll get to the point. Why do I have a YouTube channel? Well, initially, as I said, I had a YouTube channel to help people train dogs. In fact, I had it wasn't a business, it was a formal thing where I'd help people for free to train their dogs. It was called Easily Led, and if you go back to my oldest videos, you'll see that those are Easily Led videos. And why do I do videos? Well, that was why, to start off with, but then I stopped doing that because I don't know, I found people were strange. They preferred it if they paid you money to help them train their dogs. For some reason, who knows, humans are a bit odd. So I kind of stopped doing that and just started a record of how I train my dog. And I just share it on Facebook, and well, originally Working Dog Forum long before Facebook. and people would like watch it and comment on it and whatever. And I'd often get a situation where people were like saying to me, you know, that's crap, your dog's confused, you're confusing him, make it easy for him, cut it into tiny little steps and all this. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I've been training dogs since I was 10 years old. Like, yeah, I'm going to train the dogs the way I train the dogs. It gets results. And well, I just carried on training my dogs as I wanted. If people wanted to pay attention, they could or not. But anyway, I found it interesting, and I've seen this not only with that video on YouTube I mentioned earlier, but other people started talking about the things. Oh, there's a squirrel. Indy. Oh, you can't train dogs. Right. So, I know people started talking about other things that I've been talking about. Like, for years, drive theory dominated in dog training. And I personally, oh, there's another squirrel, leave it. And I think drive theory simplifies things too much. Dogs aren't just robots that do things because of drives. And if you're just training, like appealing to their drives, you're not training the whole, you're disadvantaging yourself basically. So, for example, if your dog's got like a lot of prey drive, you can use a ball to train your dog, and it's uppy, you know, looking cool and whatever. But really, the dog is only doing it for the ball. Now, I know a lot of old school people will slag it off and say training with food and training with ball is stupid because it's only doing it for the ball, but I don't mean it the same way as they do. I think maybe they don't understand properly what's going on. The dog isn't just doing it, if you do it right, the dog isn't just doing it for a ball. It's doing it for the interaction with you via the ball, which isn't training in a drives in the normal sense of the word drives. You are using what could be described as a drive, which is you know, pack drive, basically social drive, and Indy is particularly high in that pack drive. I trained him completely with a ball. I hardly used food ever because it didn't really float his boat, you know. And he's getting old now, as you can see. And so I was talking about, you know, you need to look at this, the sort of internal state of the dog, rather than seeing it as a drive. Seeing well, what's this dog feeling about this, like, you know, what's his vibe? Is he digging it, or is he not digging it? And then you work on that. I think I called it work ethic back then, but I think Nate and Ivan were referring it to as rapport or relationship, which I did used to mention as a relationship. Like, my whole thing is based on relationship between me and the dog. But specifically, I would have a puppy and I would do long training sessions with the puppy, and I got quite a lot of shit comments about how the training session with the puppy was too long. But if you actually watch the video, puppy's into it the whole way through. In fact, it wants to do it more, like an 8-10 minute session with a 12-week-old puppy. Now, I can understand why they were saying that, because you could say, well, that's not a nice thing to do really to a puppy, I wouldn't do it if the puppy wasn't into it. I'd have to build that relationship first with the puppy, you know, before it would get an 8-minute training session. So often I don't train my dogs much at all, to be honest with you. Like, mostly what you see on YouTube is all the training they ever get. I mostly just play with my dogs and take them for walks like this, and I go down the park and throw a ball, or I just play with them in the house with chucking the ball around. And everything I do with my dogs is it's just a game. Yeah. It's just a game for ages. I mean, with Gamble, I didn't really bother training her. I trained her a little bit when she was a little puppy, and then I didn't do anything for 2 years. Just took her for walks. And this did actually cause me a few issues with Gamble, because she hadn't had the Chaos Foundation that all the others had had. So you could see, it was an interesting accidental experiment. You could see in real life the difference between a dog who has a Chaos Foundation and a dog that doesn't. Leave it. Hey, Indy, back. Leave the fucking squirrel alone. So you could see the difference between a dog that has a Chaos Foundation and a dog that doesn't. So I spent a good couple of months like trying to create that, what they refer to as rapport, and I think rapport is a really good word for it, between Gamble and me. And we've had a couple of breakthroughs actually. It wasn't just one. I've had a really good one recently. It's starting to really gel in her head now. What is going on in that, you know, we're both doing something with the same goal, and that's the whole key, right? They did mention that in that video as well, but if you go back and watch my Chaos Explained videos, you'll see I was talking about that. That's the whole key to Chaos training method. What you do is you set a goal. This is in your head. Now what you need to do is to get that same goal that's in your head into the dog's head, so you're both working towards the same goal. If that's a IGP retrieve, then the goal is to do the IGP retrieve as IGP requires it. And so you can either train it, you know, the regular way with like tiny little steps, breaking it down loads and teaching your dog to go around a pole for 3 weeks, fucking shit like that. Or you can get this relationship / rapport going with the dog, and you can basically train a rough picture in one session. Then you just polish it up. You just you know, you just make the criteria, as they love to say, of the goal tighter and tighter until it looks like an IGP retrieve, or a retrieve over a hurdle, or a send away, or a heeling pattern, or bite work stuff. And bite work is particularly important because you can have a dog with a low propensity for bite work, for example. Now if you're just working through the normal drives that people refer to, prey and play and defensive drive, I mean, I won't go into that. You can actually train an operational bite work dog. Right, so that's not a sport dog, that's a dog that's either police, military, close protection, or a personal protection dog, purely through pack drive, or the relationship with the dog. Because when you've built a really strong relationship with a dog, biting in a defensive manner or even a prey manner, these are natural things for a dog, and they're even more built in to dogs like Indy, Malinois, Dutch Shepherds, German Shepherds, used to be in Dobermans, and to be honest with you, I think it still is in with Dobermans. It's just people don't understand how to train Dobermans. So the reason why I call them back on every corner is because there's some absolute clowns of dogs around here who have no idea how to train a dog, so the dogs aren't trained. So you can train those things just through relationship. Now obviously that's not much use to like a police dog or a military dog, depending on the situation. Or a pool dog then, you know, where there's a dog that's in a pool and different handlers take that dog out, you know, it's better, well, if you train it through the standard ways, prey drive, defense drive, fight drive, all these stupid labels, then you've got a dog that you can train to do police work, and anyone can handle it. If it's your own personal dog, personally I like to use what I refer to as pack drive, but really it's just relationship with your dog. And this has happened before. You can have a dog that has no bite work training, and when shit hits the fan, it does its job because it has a relationship with you. And if you look in a natural situation, if for example a dog is out in the wild and something attacks the pack or the mother with its puppies, it'll just go in full force. So anyway, I've forgotten what the hell I was on about now. Drives, that's right. So we're just going to walk back down here again. I'll probably get back to the house and see that this is all bullshit or just crappily spoken about. But I'm going to continue to video today, making a talking video about why I have a YouTube channel in the first place, which I haven't really addressed, with various dogs, and I'll just keep waffling shit until I can put something together that makes coherent sense, although that's not really in keeping with the channel, which is a chaos system of training dogs. But anyway, so I'll just keep waffling. So I started making the videos then just to keep a record really of how I train my dogs, which is why everything you see is mostly everything the dog has ever done in terms of formal training. Obviously your dog is constantly learning, like Indy's learning now, even though he's 13, I think, about 13. You know, he's not going to learn much new really, but he is he's constantly learning. Your dog is constantly learning every moment it is with you and when it's not with you. That's how dogs end up being like a pain in the ass, is because if you don't interact with them and show them what you want them to do, then they'll just do what they want to do, which is often not the same goal. So I started making videos just as a record of my training, and then I started making specific videos to help people with problems that they had in sport training. Now I'm not a sport trainer, okay? I have trained sport. I've trained French ring, Mondiaux, been fucking around with a bit of KMPV with Oscar early on. That's kind of fallen to the wayside. I've done Schutzhund, like when it was Schutzhund. Kind of went off it a bit when it turned to IPO, not sort of into the competition stuff. And so I would help them, basically just to help them if they were stuck training for sports. And you know, a few people got some good success, they got something out of it. I'm not saying I did all that, but I helped them as best I could, so I would just make videos then. And I found it interesting that the amount of, like, I don't know, I'll just try and keep it non-sweary, negative comments that I would get on my videos, despite the fact if you just watch the video, the dog is learning what we want it to learn. And so how can you say that that's not the right way to do it when the end result is the dog learn to do it? So the reason why I've started these, I'm going to do lots more talking videos. The reason why I started this talking video is with Indy, because Indy is the absolute epitome of chaos training. He's actually, well, he used to be, he's retired now, my herding dog. And he wasn't, I had no intention of teaching this dog anything like heeling and ring jumps and shit like that. But so I didn't really care what the outcome was, and it was very interesting to see because Indy's not interested in food. It's not rewarding to him particularly. What Indy really likes is he likes playing with the ball. He likes the ball itself, but he loves playing with the ball with you. And you can see that in, maybe I'll insert the video here. When he was a little puppy, you'll see it in the video, hopefully I'll put it in. It's not the ball itself, it's the interaction with you that he likes. So I decided to train in competition heeling with a ball. And after this video I'll put up another video, which is a compilation of old videos showing exactly how I trained Indy, how to heel, and it's to the normal dog trainer, and these are comments that I got at the time. It's an absolute chaotic mess. Yeah, exactly. It's an absolute chaotic mess. But what I'll have to do probably, because of the modern human doesn't have the patience to watch anything more than 30 seconds long, so I'll have to start the video with the finished product and then show how I did it. And if I did it the other way around, if I showed in order how I did it, people will just switch off because they'll be like, this isn't working, he's never going to heel properly. But you just have a look at it. Oh, he's found some rubbish to take to the bin, good boy. You just watch it, it'll look like shit. Have a look at the end result. I'm going to switch this off now because I've kind of pickled my own brain, and I'll take it back up again when I bring another dog out, which will most likely be Oscar, I think. So I'll be back.